His morning crew, it's Rob and Liz on his radio. And this morning, it is the Fabulous Equinox Orchestra. It's Clay Johnson, Jeremy Davis, spending some time with us. We're so grateful that you've taken some time out of this morning to be with us today.
We're super
we had
fans.
nothing else going on, so
I know. What do you do during a COVID?
Right?
Right? Sit around.
Thanks for having us.
Thumbs.
Yeah, it is going to be a great day. We are jumping right into it. So, Clay, I want to ask you a couple of things, okay?
Go ahead, shoot.
Clay, it looks like a couple of years ago you had a new addition to the family. Is that right?
Yes. So my wife and I traveled over to India to meet our adopted daughter for the first time, and we brought. That was actually 4 years ago. She was 2 years old when we got her. She's 6 year old. She's 6 years old now. But yes, we adopted a beautiful Indian girl into our home, and she's been a joy. She's taught us so much about ourselves and about our weaknesses and our strengths, and we've kind of grown. We've grown as a family for sure. It's been she's been a great blessing to us.
That's what kids do. They teach you how you're right and how you're wrong all the time. Something else I noticed when I was scrolling around was you do this thing called Parking Lot Pastor. So tell me what that's about.
So I've been in the ministry my entire life. My dad's a preacher. My grandfathers are preachers on both sides. Great grandfathers are preachers on both sides. And growing up, I swore, Jeremy can attest to this, I was never going to go in the ministry. I was never going to go in and work in the church at all. And I fought it with all my soul, but God had different plans. And I'm thankful that he did. So I went into the ministry, worked with several churches around. And then of course, my other love is music. So I was working with churches and working with music, and those two things were always, kind of fighting for my calendar time, my attention. The music grew to such a point where I decided it would be best to kind of step out of the ministry and just do music full time. But then I realized there was this huge hole in my heart that I needed to fill with ministry. So with the help of a good friend of mine, Dina Blizzard, who's a comedian who does online streaming, things on Facebook, I started just going on Facebook Live and saying, "Hey, I want to talk about the Bible. Does anybody want to listen?" So, and I was doing it from my car, from behind my steering wheel, and Dina is actually the one that came up with the name Parking Lot Pastor. So she's like, "Hey, it's the Parking Lot Pastor." So it kind of stuck. And yeah, I just last night filmed episode, I think 128. So it's been going on for a while now.
That's Clay Johnson, Jeremy Davis along with us. They are the Fabulous Equinox Orchestra. They're going to have some songs featured in a movie on PureFlix. Going to tell you about that in just a bit. But Jeremy, I noticed you took like this massive road trip in 2017 from here all the way out to the West Coast.
Gosh, did we ever? We learned that we don't ever want to do 8 weeks in a tour bus again. It was amazing. We literally zigzagged the country. I mean, it was it was kind of in support of our PBS special. That was kind of a big deal for us. And we played for 8 weeks on the road. I think we got a couple weeks off in the middle for Easter. And it was an adventure. Gosh, we saw so much of the country, and we got to travel in a big, beautiful bus. And we loved that. But Clay and I decided that after that massive, crazy trip, we want to keep it to 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks,
Mm-hmm.
and then be home for a while. We both have 3 kids, and that's a lot of work.
Well, it looked like your family came along with you on some of it, because I saw pictures of you in Yosemite.
Yeah, they are able to come with us. Matter of fact, we actually took we had a tour all the way up to Halifax, Nova Scotia, and we were doing a ministry project up there, kind of working with the church, and we ended up taking the whole big band, a reduced version of the big band. We took 4 wives and 7 children all on the bus. It was crazy town. But it was a blast. It was talk about memory making for sure.
Yeah, you did the zip line with your family out in Yosemite.
Yes, we did. Yeah, that was, matter of fact, as soon as the big tour with the band ended, I went straight back to California with my little crew, with my wife and 3 kids, and we had the most fun. We did a big loop through all of the national parks, and we've been dying to go back. I think our favorite was Big Sur, what's the other place? Where the big trees are, the redwood forest. I mean, there's so many great places out there. It's just, I mean, the Grand Canyon. You know, you can't beat that.
Yeah, what was it like? You had a picture in front of the General Sherman, which is a humongous tree.
I think they say that thing. Matter of fact, I have that picture on my wall here. It's the largest living thing ever, right? I mean, it is. And pictures do not do it justice. You've got to see the thing in real life to really appreciate it.
Jeremy Davis, Clay Johnson, Fabulous Equinox Orchestra. You're going to be featured, your music is, in a PureFlix film with none other than Scott Baio and Christy Swanson. What'd you say, Chachi? Chachi, yes. Courting Mom and Dad. How did this even come about that your songs are going to be in this movie?
So we have a really good friend of ours from high school. Jeremy and I grew up together, by the way. We've been best friends since the 7th grade in Western Monroe, Louisiana. And so there was another young lady that was a year older than us, but she went to junior high with us, was in band with us, went to high school together. We were all friends. And then she went on to do big things and became a movie producer in Los Angeles. And she gave us a call in the middle of the pandemic and said, "Hey, I got a movie, and I've picked out all these great songs." But what was it, Jeremy? It was like it was
a Sinatra song, a Natalie Cole song. And if you don't know anything about movies, I mean, the fact if you put a Sinatra song in your movie, you just double the budget of the movie, right? I mean, it's crazy expensive. So she said, you know, guys, I love you. I love your music. Do you have anything that would kind of fit these scenes because I can't afford these tunes? And we're like, you know, probably not, you know, but send us like a director's cut so we can see it. And we watched it. We got the vibe of the tune. And I think it was like 4 days, Clay.
It was, we cranked out music so fast. We got in a room and just started writing out stuff. We got our kids involved. My daughter actually wrote a song and sings a song that's featured in the film. Jeremy wrote a song that she sings also in the film. And we had so much fun just being so creative and going to the studio and thankfully we didn't have anything going on, so we could really devote, you know, just cram all of our time to make this happen.
It really was God's timing. I'll be honest with you. I mean, we hadn't been in the studio in like 4 or 5 years, and we had a studio session coming up already. So she called us. We wrote the songs. I mean, I grabbed my guitar and just banged it out, you know. And then we just did a real easy scratch version. We sent it to her. She loved it. She put the scratch version in the movie and sent it back to us. We're like, okay, this is going to work. So like the next week we were in the studio with the big band, and we had one of our amazing arrangers, Aaron Lyrian, write out arrangements, and he just hit a home run. She loved them. They're in the movie. That's the opening song. I think the closing song, one of the songs right when the plot starts to thicken. So it was a little bit out of our normal scope of what we do, but by the grace of God, we made it work.
I love that. And right from Savannah, Georgia. I mean, can you get any better than that?
Yeah.
And it's PureFlix too, right? It's a family-friendly movie. It's the story is fairly simple. You know, it's about a couple that's drifted apart, and then their kids kind of intervene in an interesting way and then bring them back together. And it's a special thing for us to be able to have our first soiree into the movie business with a friend we went to high school and college with, and have it be on PureFlix. So we're pretty excited about it.
Called Courting Mom and Dad. Scott Baio, Christy Swanson starring in it. It's the Fabulous Equinox Orchestra. Jeremy Davis, Clay Johnson. Thanks for the time. We're looking forward to the movie coming out on Tuesday.
Thank you guys
so much. It's our pleasure, guys. Thank you.
Great. We appreciate it.